So let's get into this reaction.
Word. Okay. Okay. Do you like to dance?
Yes, I love to dance. I'm a dancer.
You.
I'm an
I've
exotic
dated a
dancer.
lot of dancers.
Really?
Yeah, I've
Oh.
dated a lot of dancers. Yeah.
Okay, so you don't
Yeah.
have no problem with that.
I think I'm good with a young lady
Oh
right there.
Come
my
on,
Yeah.
Tiffany. Come on up.
Hold
Come
on,
on
wait.
up.
What type of dancing?
For my part, my only person that asked me in my family about it, I think one of my cousins or somebody was like, "Hey, did you know she was a exotic dancer?" And I was like, "I didn't know actually." And we talked about it. Like we talked at the same time when she said it.
Yeah,
Like when
I
she said
figured.
dancer, I dated a lot of dancers, but then like when she
Uh-huh.
said exotic dancer, I was like talking. If I would have heard that, I'm not gonna lie, maybe I would have popped. Maybe.
He thought she was a ballet dancer?
Hey.
What?
All right, so
Holla,
let's
Captain
start
Save.
with
Well, he
Tiffany.
said
So Tiffany,
he dated
as
a
we
lot
saw,
of
he said
dancers, so
maybe if he
whatever
would
the
have
other
heard it,
girls
he would have
did.
popped. So how does your profession like affect your dating life?
There's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to exotic dancers. I use the term exotic dancer because I work in gentlemen's clubs. A lot of people don't know the difference between gentlemen's clubs and strip clubs. Strip clubs, you're fully nude. You're on your feet all the time. Gentlemen's clubs is mostly just topless and you're talking to men a lot. You're not really dancing.
Okay.
So
Girl, that ain't no big difference. I'm sorry, baby girl. I don't mean to laugh. I'm pretty goofy, guys. Okay, there's no difference. It's no different. It's the same thing. If somebody don't want that, they don't want that. Do you want your kid to do it? It's pretty much as simple as that. You don't want them to do the whole naked one, and you don't want them to do the half naked one. You don't want them to do that. So when you're looking for a man, not a what is the other type of man called? Whatever they're called. They're grown, but they don't have anything of value. They don't want to be married. They don't want to give their kids anything they didn't have or just as good as they had. They want broken homes all around the world. They don't care to wake up in the house and their children see them type. Now, if you want a man, you want someone to be a father to your children and be proud to have you and vice versa, then they not gonna like that. They're not gonna like that, girl. You gotta stop it. You just gonna have to stop doing that. No misconceptions. Just stop. you know?
it's just the
Just
nuances. Like
stop it.
it's a lot of nuances to it. So I feel like people that I've tried to date in the past, they always have preconceived notions about me, and you're not really going to know who I am unless you give me a chance.
Okay.
You know? Yeah.
Okay. So, how would you say it's affected your past relationships, or even if you bring it up to someone you're just
I mean,
meeting?
I was in a long-term relationship. It was just I didn't get married, so I left. Like, I'm not getting any younger. I'm only
Right.
getting older.
So
So
quit that
it's just
job,
like,
baby.
if you're not getting something out of your situation, you should move on.
Okay. All right. So, TJ, you said it would have been a maybe pop. Why would it have been a maybe pop?
Because when I first heard her say dancer, I've dated burlesque dancing. I've dated people who done African dancing, Latin dancing, but we talked at the same time. So my stigma towards stripping was stripping. And then I didn't understand that that's what she was doing. And so that's why I said maybe. But then, like I said, I got to know her and I said, she's a very nice human being, and that goes further than my stripper mindset. It goes more into like, who are you as a person? So I think she's a great person. So whether it's a lasting romantic relationship, I think me and Tiffany would be friends forever.
That's good to hear. Any thoughts from anyone on the floor?
Cap.
Oh,
He said
what's
cap.
cap?
Someone said cap?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Danny
I
did.
heard something too.
What's cap? What's
Stand
cap
on
mean?
business. Stand on
What do you
business.
mean by
exotic
that?
dancer?
When she say dancer, I don't know. Maybe it's an Atlanta thing.
No,
Somebody
it
say
ain't. It
dancer.
ain't.
That's
It
the
ain't.
first
It
thing.
That's
ain't.
universal.
No, it's all the same thing.
Is dancing the
Honestly,
thing? I mean,
yeah,
nothing,
you're
nothing
from
against. I'm
you're
talking
from
about.
no, you're from Atlanta. So when you hear dancer, okay, I know this girl. She worked in the club.
Yeah.
So that's probably what he's saying. Like when you
'Cause-
heard dancer, you're thinking of something else. But he heard dancer since he's from like stripper culture, where he's from. That's the first thing that comes to his mind.
Yeah,
Right.
and I don't gotta prove nothing. The women I dated will tell y'all they weren't strippers. They was dancers.
Okay.
So it is what it is.
And let this be known, this is not The only thing I do, I have a
People have to stop thinking people are lying. He said what he thought and he was unaware. That's what it is. Don't try to check him as another man about what it is he really meant or
podcast. I
whatever.
have multiple businesses. This is a stepping stone. I believe in investing in myself. So if no one is going to invest in me, I'm going to invest in myself.
Yeah, but you ain't gotta do that though. You ain't gotta. It's let's be more creative because when you do certain things, it's just it hinders you. Don't hinder yourself. That's what I'll say. And I tell myself that don't hinder yourself from this or that. Da, 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 da. You gotta really be mindful of what it is you're doing.
And once again,
That's how I get my money to
the
invest in
comments,
myself.
and I said in that episode, you
There's so
shouldn't
many
come
other
at
ways.
strippers just because they strip, man. Like she don't want to do that the rest of her life. You can't do that the rest of your life. So like her as a person, you probably should get to know beyond that. And so I was able to get to know that basically because I didn't hear it. So my stigma beyond that got
Yeah, but it's different when you choosing to do that versus someone who really don't have a family, got kicked to the curb, don't have an education as a woman, really was forced to do that and they cry about it and they drinking to do it just to, cope with it. That's different. But when you have the ability, had some type of support system and you choose to live a certain way, you choose to be in the streets and you had two parents or you had a hardworking parent, you chose to be a hot boy, you choose to be a stripper, but you weren't kicked out, you could have went to school, you could have did this, you could have did that, you could have stayed at home. If that is the case, then something's wrong with your thinking. But for the girls that just get kicked out at a young age, don't have an education, don't know what they're going to do, and they end up doing it, yeah, my heart goes out to them. Because they don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. They're just doing it because that's all they mind believe they could do. And that's because of their limitations. But if you're not limited and you have some type of, like what I said, I don't want to, be taking a long time, then you should use your brain to figure out other ways to do something because there are other ways. That's all.